Hello, everyone, and welcome to Protect Your Business Framework. We've got Aimee here with Northwest Mutual helping us out, and let's get started to how to protect your business framework. For those of you who don't know, I'm Joe Siecinski. I'm a certified business coach, certified executive coach, certified NLP practitioner, certified facilitator, best-selling author, veteran of the United States Army, hoorah, and I get to help people. My goal in life is to help 2,000 businesses every single year, and I've been doing that for the last 10 years. And joining us here is Aimee. Aimee.
Hi, thank you for having me today. So, I am a wealth management advisor with Northwestern Mutual. I've been in the industry for a long time, and I've been in a lot of different segments of the industry. So, I started in banking, moved to financial services, and in these last years of my kind of industry experience, I've been with Northwestern Mutual. So, I see more of the protection side of the business than I have ever seen before. And really, what I'm focused on is as well as a lot of planning. So planning for clients, planning for businesses. It's an integrated approach, and I really enjoy the opportunity to work with people to understand their individual needs and what's happening in their businesses.
And an all-around great person. So as we get started here, we're going to get our brain set a little bit, our brain share. When we say or think, I know, what happens? Our brain shuts off. There's like a steel door coming down and everything starts bouncing off. So as we go through this, when you say or think, I know, stop and instead try this. Isn't that interesting? You can almost feel your brain open up. So as we go through this, you're going to think, oh, yeah, I know that. I know. Isn't that interesting? Our brain will open up and we'll continue to learn. Isn't that
Interesting.
yay? And above and below the line. So when we're above the line, we take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for everything that happens in our business and our life. When we're below the line, it's blame. It's Jimmy's fault. Or excuses. My alarm didn't go off. Or denial, which actually means don't even know I am lying to myself. You might as well stay in bed. And the behaviors are when we're above the line, we're committed to learning, we're open to learning, and we've got the power. When we move below, it's committed to being right no matter what. We're closed off and we shut off that I know modality and we're powerless. So let's stay above the line, ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And how many of you have ever thought about or wished you could change your action, behavior, or decisions besides me? Well, this is actually the tip of the iceberg. Those are the things we see. But below the waterline, that's our skills, beliefs, values, identity, and environment. Now, unless we change those, our actions, behavior, and decisions will stay the same. So if we want to change the way our lives are going, our businesses are going, we want to change what's below the waterline. Now, of the skills, beliefs, value, identity, and environment, what's the easiest to change? Well, if you're a real estate agent, you say environment because you want somebody to move. But for us, it's skills. And when you leave here today, you're going to have some new skills that will help you protect your business framework. So what is the business framework? Well, as we build our business, we start with a foundation. And the foundation has cornerstones. Cornerstone number one, time is our most valuable asset. That's one of the cornerstones, time. And how we utilize our time will determine the success of our life and our business. This is what I wrote my book about, brainSHARE, how business owners make more time, have more money. And then ultimate goal, when are you going to sell the business? What's it going to look like? Do you want to have your business to look like a mobile home or the Taj Mahal? How many floors do we want on our business? What do we want it to look like? Not only your long-term goals, but when are you going to sell it? And standards is all about consistency in the business, ensuring that you have a consistent product or service. And finances, knowing your numbers. If you watch Shark Tank, they always talk about know your numbers. Revenue, gross profit, net profit, number of leads, conversion rate, average dollar sale. What are your numbers? You must know them. This is the foundation. Then we move into market positioning. This is when we start our unique selling proposition, our target market, target market, target market. Yes, I did say that 3 times because that is the most important. The USP, your unique selling proposition, and your guarantee and all of your marketing will change or could change based on that. After we get that together, we do our sales training in the market positioning. We do our tactical marketing and our strategic marketing, and we get a stable business. Instead of having the seesaw effect, the feast and famine, we get stabilized, and then we start systemizing the business. Systems stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. This is where we systemize our marketing, our sales, our operational systems, our finance systems, our HR systems. Everything starts getting systemized and optimized. And then we put the right team together. You need a different team up here than you do when you get started. And the team is about all of the business starting to work without you. The leader doesn't need to be there, and that's putting the organizational structure together. Your organizational structure, position descriptions, KPIs, make sure they're stabilized, and we switch from a profit and loss focus to a valuation focus so we can focus on exiting or expanding the business. And that's when we really look at what's our final destination. And that's the framework. And how do we protect it? That's what we're going to next, because as you look at your business, you're in the middle. You've got these other partners and relationships to help support your business. Of course, you've got your accountant and your attorney and your business coach and your financial planner and your insurance. And Aimee's going to get into a lot of that as we move forward. So, Aimee, can you take it from here?
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, so I want to kind of start with that middle person who's you in the business. And like Joe was saying, when you are setting up your business and you're setting up all these centers of influence and all these people that you're going to need on your team as you're building your structure, you know that's the financial advisor, that wealth management advisor. We're just one piece of that puzzle, and yet we all are working together to help you. And that, if we're doing our job right, is what we should be doing. We should be helping you to solve your problems. So I kind of want to have you think about for just a second, what are some of the problems that come up? What do business owners worry about? What keeps you up at night? What are the things that cause anxiety as you're starting a business? And this is going to be different in different phases of your business as well. So here's some examples of some things that people think about and our clients think about, the businesses that we work with, they worry about. And as each person is different. As we get to know your business, as we get to know your needs within the business, we'll also really focus on your personal needs as well. So the personal needs and the business needs are interrelated and they're interdependent as well. So how we plan for one set of needs is going to affect the other set of needs as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And, Joe was really clear about helping you understand what those phases of as you're kind of starting off in building a business and building the structure and then adding all these different dimensions to your planning. But you're going to continue to have questions as you go along. You're going to continue to have new things come up, new issues come up, and each time you address those needs, you're going to rely on these networks of people, these people that are insulating and building this capsule of protection around your business and what you're doing to plan for your business. So Really, I want to talk about a few things today, and we're going to break this segment into two so that it's a little bit more manageable for your time. And we're going to talk at the beginning here about some business planning basics. So, what are some of these key areas to protect, as Joe was talking about in the bottom, when we're talking about your time and the enormous amount of time as you're setting up your business, as we're, talking about the numbers and what's happening. We need to help you to be able to manage that process. And, it really starts with protection. And that protection starts and actually is, changes through the different phases of your business. So in the second segment of this, we're going to talk about some of those different phases and how the planning that we do will potentially change depending upon what phase you're in as well. So, key areas to protect. We're going to talk about physical assets, employees, the business itself, you as the business owner, and as the person responsible to make sure that the business stays up and running, but also responsible for setting aside retirement and funds and being able to exist after you transition out of that business. So that becomes what we will focus on in relation to our exit strategy. Again, I've talked about how the personal and the business planning go hand in hand. We will talk about how that integrated approach can work and should work to create, really a very simple process for you to be able to, do over and over again, depending upon what phase of the business you're in. And then really our goal is to help simplify this process for you and to help you to feel more secure and more stable in what you're doing to plan in a business that's going to be airtight as far as your risk protection. So as we get into these areas of protection, you can see on the outside this yellow kind of round circle around all these planning areas that we're going to talk about. This is your advisory team. This is your protection. This is your network. And this is who you're going to go to, at all different phases of your business planning. And it's really important to have people that you trust, people that people that you are confident in, and also can give your confidence to. So you need to be able to turn to them at any point and say, what is happening here? I am, completely confused. I need you to, straighten this out for me. So we're going to kind of talk about these different phases and how that relates, because you are in the middle. You are the center of everything, and we have to protect your business, but we also have to protect you as well. So we're going to start with the very first part of this, which is labeled business planning, but we're going to separate it into two: risk management and employee benefits. So the risk management side of it, that's going to be where let's talk about what, not just liability coverage, but we really have to say, what are we protecting your business from? What could potentially happen down the road? So we've got potential loss of physical assets. We've got a potential loss of intellectual assets or a potential loss of human assets. So we'll break that into three sections and talk about what that means and how that, what kinds of ways we can help you protect. So when we're talking about these different types of assets, you can see here, physical assets is your physical space, the building, what you've done, the machinery, the inventory, what you have and what you're building, what you're selling. The intellectual assets, that is steps that, again, you're going to need to be able to leverage off an attorney, whether it's, patents or copyrights, trademarks. Those are things that you're going to be taking in steps as they come along. That's, part of managing and protecting that risk to the business. So when we're looking at all three of these areas, and we're looking at how important it is to protect the physical assets, the intellectual assets, and the employees, you have to think about yourself too. You're one of the employees. You're one of the people in your business. Do you currently have a plan in place? That's going to be very, key for us to look at. And what is that plan? When was the last time you looked at this plan? how long has it been since you've had a second opinion done on this plan? And we're going to really help you to sit down and say, okay, who are the most important employees that you have in your business right now? And if something were to happen to them, what would happen to your business? What would happen to your supply chain? What would happen to your client relationships? We want to make sure that we protect those as well. So, that brings me to the next kind of phase of what we're going to talk about, and that's employee benefits and the planning that we do around employee benefits. So, there's two kind of parts to employee benefits. We're looking at full-time employees and the benefits we need to set up for them. And then we're also going to be looking at the benefits that we're going to set up in the later stage of business to be able to make sure that we're taking care of those key employees, that we're providing for them incentive to stay, and what we call in the business world, golden handcuffs, to kind of give them enough incentive so that they have, continued loyalty to you as well as your business matures. Did you have a question, Joe?
And I'm just going to jump in. In today's competitive business environment, these are differentiators to
Yeah.
attract employees also. So they really need to be considered strongly as you're moving down this path, especially if you're in a tight labor market like we are today.
Right. And the retention of employees, obviously being able to acquire the employees at the beginning, but retaining the employees is also extremely important these days. So again, integration is the challenge when we're planning for all of these different areas, is that they are interdependent. So we are going to recommend an integrated approach to planning, which is going to take us into the second stage. And we talk about, we plan, we help you understand, we ask questions, we find out exactly what you're thinking down the road at the very beginning. We want you to start thinking about it as you are building the business from the very bottom structure that Joe talks about. Everything depends on what you put in place at the beginning to, are you able to easily transition your business later on? Are you going to, be able to emotionally release that business? Do you feel confident that whoever is taking it over is going to do a good job? And do you have the strategies in place? Do we have some of these buy-sell agreements in place beforehand? Have we done the business evaluation at the beginning and continue to value that business throughout the lifetime of your business so that it is up to date and you know exactly where you stand? As Joe talked about, know your numbers. You need to know your numbers throughout the process to be able to plan your exit strategy correctly. So again, customized exit planning, it's very different for everybody. A lot of people will say, I want to leave it to my children. It tends to be one of the hardest things we see because, if it's going to be a family member take over when you're ready to leave, are they going to agree on the focus of the business, on all of the work that you've put into the business? Or do they want to change directions completely? You need to have those really hard conversations with them and also with yourself. Are you reluctant to go? Are you ready to go? And is the timing correct?
Or do they not even want to be involved? Because I have seen that over the years where, oh, I want to give it to my kids, don't want it.
Yeah, yeah. And I will say that, that's why it's really important to put some of those buy-sell agreements in place so that not only is the business evaluated correctly, but it's an easy conversation to be able to transition if they don't want to take it over, so that you have the ability to, have that conversation already dealt with and you know what direction you're going. So I will say there's few family businesses that survive beyond the first generation, because a lot of people think, oh yes, I know I need to think about this. I know I need to deal with this, but then they don't. And then, there's some issues. So we really, really, really spend a lot of time all at the beginning of planning about your exit strategy. As funny as that seems, that's what we want to make sure. So while we're passing the business on to family or selling it, or maybe just outright closing the doors, maybe it's just the type of business where you just shut down and you say it's over. No matter what it is, we have to plan for the unexpected. So the unexpected, I mean, is part of risk management. This again is how we are interrelated in all of these areas. We want to make sure that we are protecting you. What if something, what if you become disabled? What if there's a death? What if there's a death with one of your key employees? We need to have checks and balances in place and make sure that, none of these things are fun to think about. It's not fun to talk about, but it's extremely important. And it is something that we, will help you with and work through with you as well. So again, the last part of what we're going to talk about today is the personal side of financial planning. Why would I talk about that if I'm talking about business planning? Because the business, you are starting this business for what reason? To make money, right? You're starting this business to be able to, you know, have the money right now in your life to be able to take care of your loved ones, to be able to grow wealth. And then also down the road, you're hoping that the business is going to fund your retirement. You're going to be able to step away at some point and you're going to be able to say, okay, the business did the job the business was supposed to do. It was supposed to fund my retirement.
Or achieve your personal goals is the way I put it.
Yeah,
Running a business is one of the hardest things there ever is. Your business needs to help you achieve your personal goals.
yeah.
And that's exactly what you're talking about, Aimee.
And everybody's personal goals are different, Joe. That's a great
Yes,
point because some people, we have businesses that turn it over to charities. We have
yes.
businesses that put it into trusts. We have businesses that put it into, specific, ILET trust for children. I mean, there's all sorts of ways that we can help you transition from your business and from this life work that you have loved for so long to make it an easy transition for you to be able to move on to the next phase in your life. Um, and I guess what I would say too about that in personal finance and business finance and how they're interrelated is also we really have to focus on the tax efficiency of your plan. And are we really making sure that everything that's being done in the business is as tax efficient as possible? So again, having a very strong relationship with your CPA, having an understanding of where you are at all times, knowing your numbers, understanding what we have to work with and what you need to be setting aside. And then, really being able to know and feel comfortable that your business is able to fund your personal planning needs that you have. So again, just as an overview, this integrated approach, we are going to, think about all of these different areas of business planning, the risk management, the employees, yourself, what benefits are going to be helpful for you, what benefits are you looking for, your exit strategy, and your personal financial planning. All of these are given, prioritization in their time, and we're going to help you to understand how to prioritize each one individually and then how to bring it all together and understand how it all relates and is dependent on each other and helps each of those other areas to become successful as well. So in our next webinar, we talked about, we're gonna take a look at the stages of business. So let's look at that for just a minute. These stages are going to, really kind of have, if you think about having that circle and that insulated business owner in each one of these stages, we're going to break down a little bit more of what the risk management, what the business planning is going to look like in each of those stages. So thank you for having me, Joe.
Well, it's been an honor and a privilege. And like I said, we're going to go into the stages of business as the business goes through its business life cycle. So please give Aimee a call, schedule up some time, and start diving in and taking the first steps to moving and protecting your business framework. Take a moment here and break out your phone, scan this QR code, and get your gift certificate and select wherever you are in your business. We'll do a workshop for you.
Yeah, and we'd love to meet with you too. So
And if you scan this QR code,
look at that.
you'll get my calendar and just schedule a time, and we'll talk about your business, where it is, where you want it to go, and how to get you there in the most expedient manner.
And if you just scroll back through this, you'll be able to get to our email addresses as well. I work with a fabulous team out of our Lake Oswego office, and we're happy to meet with you in person or set up a session to get to know you a little bit better. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.